Five Nights at Freddy's, probably one of the most beloved horror franchises to date, turns 10 years old today, meaning that this game has been around for half my life, as I remember being 9 years old and first watching Markiplier playing this game and him taking the throne as the king of Five Nights at Freddy's.
I am the king of Five Nights at Freddy!
That was the moment that FNAF probably turned into the only thing I talked about. Growing up, I would constantly be looking into everything Five Nights at Freddy's, like watching all the latest map pad theories, watching Markiplier beat the custom night of the most recent game at the time, listening to fan songs, watching animations, and even refreshing the Scott Games website, hoping there would be a new sneak peek for the newest game. I remember it being awkward for me, a fourth grader, explaining that my favorite game was a horror game about five kids being murdered in a pizzeria. I'm sure many of you can relate to this, hopefully. Now, even though we have grown up playing this game, and it might be a little odd to say this, it kind of seems that Five Nights at Freddy's grew up with us, from being about things like whether Chica's a duck or chicken, to what's in the box and who is Cassidy, as well as being a game that takes place in a little office where the only thing you use is your mouse cursor to close doors and check cameras, to roaming around a mall, and also not only one but two VR games. A free roam game as well as a virtual one would probably be too much for little me to handle. Don't even get me started about the movie that came out last year, as I was waiting for that to happen for a long time. And the fact that it finally did, I couldn't handle it. I was already finishing my first semester of college. And while we are on the topic of the movie, there's a whole timeline of events and projects being released this week of August to celebrate FNAF's huge milestone. With the amount of content we are getting in such a short amount of time, it feels like we're getting a FNAF themed Christmas. Among the release of spin offs, demos, and interactive novels, we get a few sneak peeks of the Final Freddy's 2 movie. And for the grand finale, August 8th, we get the new game based on the novel Into the Pit, the first of the Five Nights at Freddy's book series, Fazbear Frights, one of the ones to contain some of the most intriguing stories. So the fact that we get a new style of game and new information based on this volume alone is very exciting to me. But so would any new game. Also, something else that was intriguing is a new series of novels released in the FNAF literary universe. The first being a free interactive novel called VIP, named after the book's newest character in the series. Very interesting pick. I did get it, as it was free, but the fact that there's so many novels already is kinda overwhelming. But I'm not going to complain, as much of these contain parallels that help with understanding the game, but for me personally, nothing will beat the day I learned that Scott was first making his first ever book, The Silver Eyes, and just me getting that on my 12th birthday. Now, something else that we are lucky to get is the game MyPOPGOES. Even though it looks like a cute little game where you get to take care of PopGoes characters like PopGoes the Weasel himself, Blake the Badger, Stone the Crow, and Manora the Mouse, and others that I have yet to unlock in the game. However, that eventually turns out to no longer be the case, as the more you play, the more you find out that there's more to this game than just a little Tamagotchi little thing going on. You can pretty much guess how I felt when I launched the game and saw that it said may contain graphic images, as I was completely fooled by the cute graphics and the fact that this was the same universe as Candy's. Surprisingly, I didn't know that. To give a small description of the premise of the game, you are playing as Bonnie, who is given the task to look for her father's toolbox in the attic. But in the process, you find a box that has your old toy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. This eventually leads you going back in time when you used to play this excessively, and you as a player have the option to play the campaign or the mini games. And the more you play, the more stickers and characters you unlock, as well as toy skins, Bonnie's own diary entries, and even endings. For the campaign, all you do is you keep your character alive by making sure to fill their hunger, thirst, and boredom until 6 p.m., which seems easy, but each day a bar goes down faster to the point where eventually, on day 5, you must do everything strategically to complete it. However, the mini games on the other category are specifically for unlocking more characters in the reference sheets in Bonnie's diary. And it goes from saying their favorite color to their age. But I haven't completed all the mini games or bonus challenges yet, so I'm not entirely sure about what all the endings or prizes of this game are. But that is not actually the point of this video. Without Scott Cawthon releasing this game, we wouldn't have Pop Goes or Candy's Burgers and Fries. And we probably wouldn't get games we have today like Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy Playtime, Garden of Band Band, not even to mention so many Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. Nowadays, we get FNAF Plus, Juniors, Five Nights at Freddy's in Real Time, and many more scary games that really do send chills down our spine that has the same style of gameplay that Five Nights at Freddy's introduced. I still have a lot of love for games like Candies and Five Nights at Flumpty's, and does anyone remember Five Nights at Wario's? Even though there were loads of knockoffs of Five Nights at Freddy's, not all of them may be your favorite. It just proves to show how impactful it really is. It makes you, or at least me, think how much of the world would be different if Scott never went with this idea, or if Markiplier never thought to give a random game he discovered a shot. It really hit off and became into something special. And sure, some may be thinking that plenty of games experience this type of milestone, or have plenty of anniversaries, but for some reason, this time it just feels different. There goes to say that when Bendy and the Ink Machine or Little Nightmares turns 10, I'm going to be all over that anniversary as well. But I didn't grow up on them for as long, and honestly, I'm not sure I would have gotten into those franchises if it wasn't for Five Nights at Freddy's. I told myself that I wouldn't include lore into this, as not only is there a lot to cover, but a lot of stuff about the series is still not entirely sure to be 100% accurate or even close to what Scott Cawthon is trying to tell us. But I believe that it's truly what made the game interesting and thrive. It's just so much to offer, whether you just want to play it for the challenge or if you want to try and find the hidden secrets to get a little closer to what the story behind this game truly is. I mean, the fact that we're getting another live stream of him being interviewed by Dako, so hopefully we get to learn something that answers or possibly changes everything that we think about FNAF. Although, I'm kind of writing this like it's the peak of Five Nights at Freddy's, or like some kind of end, but it's not. On August 9th, the franchise will continue, and we will continue to get more and more content from this game series. Now, this just makes me think what things would be like when Five Nights at Freddy's turns 20 years old. Will I even make such a big deal about it? I mean, I see myself thinking about me as a kid, me in this moment right now, writing all of this. Maybe I'll be at a point in my life where things like this just aren't really what I care about anymore. Or maybe it's the opposite and they still are, and I work on projects somewhat related to or inspired by stuff like FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's may be the definition of never expecting something so small it can turn into something so big and change your life forever. And how 1 second you're just a 9-year-old kid that's scribbling in your color book at grandma's house, and then you get introduced to a YouTuber who decides to play a game which happens to get really big, and 10 years later, you're 19, you moved out of your parents' house, and is writing about a game that inspired you all those years ago. It just kind of shows how everything comes back around. This is how I choose to contribute to the 10-year anniversary. I don't really do videos like this, but Maybe I will, it's just I never really got the courage to. Thanks for watching. This is Corleaf. I'll see you later.